It was also a wonderful night in the WNBA. Great game between the Fever and the Sun. In the words of Simone Biles, everybody watches women's sports. Simone Biles was at the Fever Sun game last night. Fellow gold medalist Gabby Thomas was at the Fever Sun game last night. David Letterman was at the Fever Sun game last night. Lisa Bluter was at the Fever Sun game last night. I was watching it at home, and what we saw was the Fever finally beat the Sun. The Sun had won 11 straight games against the Indiana Fever, 3 of those being this season. That came earlier in the season. And at the conclusion of last night's game, I had one resounding wish, and that is a prayer to the playoff gods to please, 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 please give us a Dijonai Carrington, Caitlin Clark playoff matchup this year. We are so close. Right now, the Sun with the loss shift into the 3 seed if the playoffs started today. The Fever are a half game out of the 6 seed. We can work this magic because those two on the court, give me them for 7 games. It will feed families. It will be some of the most exciting action that you could get in the first round of the playoffs. Dijonai Carrington at this point is one of, if not the best perimeter defender in the W this season, and so many new fans of the sport learned her name in those early games when she was locking down Caitlin Clark. Now you have Caitlin Clark, as we have well discussed, who is not just days into her WNBA career, but months, and continues to get more and more comfortable. Set another record last night with most threes made by a rookie in a WNBA season. And Caitlin Clark gets the best of her last night. But the moments between those two, one of the best highlights is Dijonai Carrington hits a 3, and she shushes the crowd, the Fever, everybody, hits with the shush. And this is the very next play by Caitlin Clark, going straight at Dijonai Carrington, over her, off the backboard for the bucket. I just want more of that. They were chirping the whole game. They were yapping the whole game. At one point, I think Dijonai Carrington lost an eyelash. This is what we deserve, and it's really fun. And the Fever are playing great basketball right now.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And it is, how can I want to be right about this?
Okay.
Caitlin Clark is a sports phenom. Caitlin Clark is great, but it has less to do with Caitlin Clark and more to do with everybody else on that team, right? Did you know Hull's name before the Olympic break? Because I didn't. I didn't know she was running.
I covered her in high school. Humble brag.
I apologize. I forgot that. Didn't know that. Mitchell has been great this season, not just post-break, but this entire season. You throw in Aliyah Boston and what she's able to do, not just defensively rebounding the ball and scoring, but her ability to make the next pass is huge. Hull and Mitchell are the beneficiary of some really good reads by Aliyah Boston, and it leads to them getting wide open looks, so much so that at one point in that game, I was like, oh, I got to do some work. I can't just sit here and watch this. I got to do some work. And I don't break out the workplace sleigh on this show, but I had to for this because I want to be right about this. 5 games since the Olympic break, the Fever are shooting 38.5% from 3. The best team shooting best 3-point percentage team in the WNBA are the Lynx, and they're at 39%. The next best is at 35.8 or something like that. So in 5 games, it's a small sample size, but 5 games, they're the second best 3-point shooting team in the WNBA, if you look at it. And it's because Mitchell is shooting at 41% from 3, almost 42% from 3. Hull is shooting at an amazing 70% from 3. Combined, they are 50% from 3, 34 for 68 from 3 post-break. Caitlin Clark, 34%, 17 to 50, right? Like, that's fine. That's not going to get the job done, but it's fine. And it's good when you have that duo over there doing their thing.
Right.
When in Hull and Mitchell.
You
there
joked.
are times. What?
Go ahead. No.
There are times when that game's, why the hell are the Sun going under anything? Why would you go under on Hull? Why would you go under on Mitchell? Why would you ever go under those? You have to go over the screens. Every single screen that gets set for one of those 3. Hull, Mitchell, Clark, go over it. Make them go by you. Make them beat you with 2s, not 3s. And I'm not sure if Hull and Mitchell can finish at the rim. Clark can. I'm not sure those other 2 can. So let them drive it and finish it. Because I know they can do step backs. I know they can get comfortable and laser it from deep when they get a chance to just look at the rim. Make them go over it. Make them beat you going to the rim. But if you're going to go under, you got to step in and make the shots. Caitlin Clark is the engine that drives this car. The car's had a couple of flat tires. They got 3 good tires right now, though. and this thing is a roll, and it's great to see.
Lexie Hull into the starting lineup last night. We joked last week after she had an insane, I forget how many threes she made in that game, where you started thinking to yourself, "Ooh, if Lexie Hull can be this, that would be excellent."
Was that the 11-15 game?
It must have been.
No, wait, 6 or 7.
6 or
She
7.
was 6 or 7.
Okay, she was 4, and you were like, "Well, she's not going to shoot 6 or 7 from 3 every game." Well, she shot 4 or 6 last night. And games like that are helpful when it comes to Kelsey Mitchell, first player in Fever history to have 5+ games with 20 or more points. She is the WNBA's leading scorer coming out of the All-Star break. And I mentioned, the Olympics. All-Star and Olympics, because they were back-to-back. They were bookended. But Fagbenle, again off the bench last night, had one of the most impressive 0-point games I have ever seen. She'll get the offense back. She's still coming back off of that injury. But defensively, what she does in terms of the Fever being able to throw different looks at different teams and just the hustle plays that she makes, I was impressed with that. Anyway, this Fever team is must-watch TV right now, and a big portion of it is Caitlin Clark, who absolutely is a needle driver, but that rest of the team has filled out wonderfully and makes them a team that when they are on TV, it is football season. Football season is officially here, but I will still be seeking out these games. There are many games within the WNBA at this point. I want to watch the Liberty as much as possible. I still want to see. Now there is an interesting dynamic between who will get that 2 seed between the Lynx or the Sun, or can one of them chase the Liberty still with, about a month left in the regular season. We will see. But the playoffs in the W, I'm leaving on a vacation for 14 days, and this could all look very differently by the time I get back.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And we talked some about the Fever. Let's talk some about the Sun.
Still a great team.
Still
3-1 against the Fever this season. Sorry.
If you go 4-0, you go 4-0. But 3-1 is not bad at all. I'm not going to completely discredit what the Sun have been doing all season long because of one game. Plus, I like the addition of Mabry.
The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hart, live every weekday at 8 a.m.